Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael.
And Jonathan.
And we are...
Roger Mar. Yeah.
And it's Christmas Day, December the 25th, 2018. And we're doing a short not retrospective, that's the wrong word, short Christmas essay, video essay on the age-old question as what makes a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously lots of easy examples of movies that obviously are no-brainers. You know, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, almost anything that has the word Christmas in it.
All the classics like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Little Drummer Boy, Santa Claus, Frosty the Snowman.
Other more modern films like the Home Alone series, which is going to be turn 30 in a couple years. Turning 30 years old. Let's see, what else is there that are kind of newer-ish ones. Although it's, in my opinion, not a great movie, Jingle All the Way. Just anything that's Christmassy.
Jingle All the Way is definitely a Christmas movie, definitely underrated. I think it's a lot better than most people really give it credit for it. And man, it's got some problems, but it's an enjoyable movie. I actually saw that in the theater. I actually went to the theater to see that movie.
And then you have what's known as the Hallmark films, where they pump out like 25, 30 new ones every year, and it's the same plot. Out of every single one of them, it's the same plot. You have other ones like Krampus. It's based on, is it Norwegian?
Yes.
Norwegian Christmas myth. You'll have stuff like, family-friendly stuff. Stuff that's rom-coms, comedies, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the ones that, are they Christmas movies or are they not? And which ones are we talking about?
And before we get into that, let's not forget, if you're talking Christmas horror, let's not forget the classic, and honestly, probably one of the more important horror films to ever be released, and that's Black Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
As a movie that really started the slasher genre. So, and Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yep.
Another great one. But the movies that really made me think about this whole thing. I made a little list here. I actually made a small list. Now, obviously, the main one that I think is the one that everybody gets into this debate about is Die Hard. And we will be discussing that, but there are some other ones too. Lethal Weapon, Batman Returns,
Oh, I didn't think about that one.
Edward Scissorhands, and Trading Places.
Gremlins.
Gremlins, we can discuss Gremlins, but Gremlins is, in my opinion, without a doubt, a Christmas movie. I don't think there's any argument for it. But now, here's the question. Why are we even having this debate?
Because, as you can see, there's no decorations up. We have no family here. We didn't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
So, we're both feeling grinchy. We both want to argue about something. We don't care about Christmas this year, so that's why we're making a Christmas video.
What makes a Christmas movie a Christmas movie? You want to start on that one?
Well, in my opinion, I have a final argument that I want to make at the very end of it, but we'll go with some of the more obvious ones. Time frame in which it's set. That could be anytime within the Christmas holiday season, Hanukkah season, Kwanzaa season, any of the major religious holidays. That's not what I'm trying to say. The time frame of any of the major religions' winter festivals.
So like the 18th, December 18th through the 27th.
Pretty much,
Basically.
Yeah. That way you cover all of Yule, you cover mostly cover all of Hanukkah, you'll cover Christmas and Kwanzaa, and I'm sure I'm missing out on some of the other religions' winter festivals,
Rashomon.
Rashomon. So if it's within that time frame and has anything to do roughly at all with that time of the year or religious celebrations, I consider it a Christmas movie.
Okay. See, for me, the time the time frame isn't the only thing that is important to me. I think if it takes place around Christmas time, and Christmas, the fact that it is Christmas or whatever holiday it is, if that actually plays an important part of the story, then to me that's what matters. Basically, if you can remove the Christmas elements from the story, does it still work?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Good example. Is that Christmas? Is it Halloween? If you took either one of those out, would it work as a movie? As a holiday movie?
Nightmare Before Christmas is one of those rare examples that it is a movie for two holidays. You can watch it on either one, and it's still going to be good, and it's still going to work because it's a blending of the two. So, Lethal Weapon. Do not think Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie. Because it's not important that it's Christmas. It just happens to be around Christmas time.
Okay.
I just don't.
And that will fall into my definition as well, because it doesn't really take into consideration any of the religious or pagan aspects of the holiday.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the time frame that
It
it's
just
set.
happens to be set at Christmas time.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with any of it. About Batman Returns. Again, it's set during Christmas, and Christmas plays into some aspects of the story.
See, I've never even thought of it as a Christmas movie, so I really don't have an argument either way. It's my favorite Batman movie, so I would watch it at Christmas time,
Yeah.
just because I love it. It's my favorite of all of them. Well, second favorite, because the original '89 Batman is the best, and I think that says more about Tim Burton's direction style than Joel Schumacher or even what's his name, Nolan.
Yeah.
Although the Nolan ones are great, I have my preference, but we're going off on a tangent that we've already done 2 years ago. So.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I think if you took out the holiday elements of that movie, it would still, I would think that movie still needs to be set place in winter season, but I think you could probably take out the Christmas element, because the whole thing with the penguin, I don't think would have worked in the summertime or even spring or fall.
Oh no, not at all. No, it definitely has to be set in winter, but I don't think the actual Christmas aspects are of that much importance. You know, it's just, maybe it's the only time that they could. Maybe they just did it just because it was the way to make sense of the fact that it was snowy. It's literally the only time we've seen Gotham snowy
Yeah.
in all of the Batman movies. So,
This brings up another point. Does a Christmas movie have to take place in that wintry element.
Hmm.
Cold and snow and ice. Could you do a Christmas movie in the desert, for instance, and would it still be considered a Christmas movie?
Hmm.
Because that takes into a lot of account of what people appropriate Christmas with is white Christmas, and I don't mean white Christmas in a racial sense, but like snow and ice and cold temperatures, unlike today where it's, I don't know, in the 60s or something
Yeah,
like
it's like
that.
62
And
degrees.
62 degrees and overcast and cloudy and gonna storm and tornadoes and shit today.
Yeah. I don't know. See, that's an interesting point. I feel because it's so. That's what you see. You always see it. You know. Every movie that is considered a true Christmas movie, it's always going to have some sort of bad weather elements in it, with snow, ice, you know, things like that. Even like. Oh, I'm trying to think. Even something like Scrooged was the same way. I mean, it was still nasty and snowy and stuff outside during the movie, even though it didn't need to be. There was no reason for it. You know, it's one of those elements that it seems like filmmakers put in just to be like, hey, it's Christmas time.
And plus, it's a pleasant film element. It looks good on screen.
True.
Snow looks good on screen. Rain and wind and like any other, in my opinion, other holiday or other seasons weather types don't really look good on screen, in my opinion. But I'm also a winter baby, and I was born literally in the middle of a blizzard, so I'm predetermined to like snow.
And I was born on Christmas Eve, but it was so warm outside that my parents had to go and buy a new outfit to take me home in, even though it was Christmas Eve, because it was like 70 degrees that day. So, you know, I was born during the winter, but not during the cold. I think fall looks good on screen if done right.
Mm-hmm.
If done right.
It has to be fall, and like the eastern seaboard, like in the northern eastern seaboard, New Hampshire, Vermont type stuff. That's when it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah. Either. Yeah, I mean, it looks good if like the leaves are changing or the leaves have already fallen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're at that end of fall, right, beginning of winter, where all the leaves have already fallen, but it's not crisp yet, it's not cold yet. That always looks really nice too.
But we're getting off topic.
We are getting off topic. We do that a lot.
Yeah.
Shh. Quiet.
So what's your next example of questionable Christmas movies?
Edward Scissorhands.
No,
No.
I do not.
A lot of people, I've noticed the past couple of years, a lot of people have said it, but I'm like, why? It literally has one scene that takes place,
Yeah,
even in the time, and it's at the very end.
yeah. There's only one. The big climatic battle scene, and there's some Christmas lights on one house, on one or two houses, and the snow aspect of it. It's not weather related, so therefore it doesn't fall into my definition of that, because it's basically him making ice sculptures on the top of the mountain that causes it to snow.
Beautiful scene, though.
Yes.
Oh my God, beautiful scene. Oh, but yeah, that one I knew would be a simple no.
That's a
not.
winter movie. It's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a movie that that definitely has the feel of winter. It's kind of dark.
And even though it's only winter towards the end, but of course there's no telling how long he stayed with the family. It doesn't really, they don't really mention it, because if you think at the beginning of it, it's very springy like.
Oh yeah, it's extremely colorful.
But it's the color palette.
Uh huh.
But I think as the movie tones into a darker tone is when the color palette changes to more darks.
Trading Places. Now this one's kind of weird. I don't know if you've even seen that movie.
It's been so many years that I don't really remember it.
Mm.
So you'll probably have to make all the arguments on this one.
I think that there's a definite heavy Christmas element in the movie, but I still don't know that I would necessarily. But it's not super important to the overall plot, so I'm not sure how that would really fit in with it. There's all, I get online and I see these lists of movies to watch at Christmas, alternative Christmas movies. Everybody's wanting to skip over all the classic Christmas movies, which why? They're classics for a reason.
But I get that, because there's only so many times you can watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, I agree.
There's only so many times you can watch Prancer, if you've ever watched it at all, which
I haven't.
Probably nobody has. But there's only so many times you can watch these traditional Christmas movies.
Yeah. True.
Like, we watched Home Alone today, and I've seen this thing, like, I wouldn't say 100 times, but so many times I haven't memorized. And this time I just kind of watched it on my phone while I was watching. It was just background, just because it's tradition.
Yeah.
And that's an element. That's an element that I'm going to talk about here in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, we watch it every year.
It's still good, but I've seen it so many times that I don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah. Now the big one, Die Hard. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And I actually had this discussion with Mom the other day, and she actually kind of changed my mind on it.
Well, the obvious argument was, why would they all be there if it wasn't Christmas? Why would they all be in that building if it wasn't Christmas?
Yeah. And here's my counterpoint to that. To that particular one aspect, there's another aspect that I will get into. The fact that it's a holiday party isn't as important as the fact that they're all there. It could have been a party for anything.
Mm-hmm. That's my point I was going to make. And by your argument, if you take the Christmas element out of it, it's still a Christmas movie. In that case, no, it's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But it's a huge element. If they weren't having that Christmas party, nobody would be there.
Yeah, but it could.
But if they were having a Halloween, if it happens to be Halloween and they were having a Halloween party,
or they could have just been celebrating the major merger or whatever it was that they were kind of celebrating already, But here's my argument. Here's my other part. The other part of that argument. If it weren't for the fact that it was Christmas, McClane wouldn't be there, and you wouldn't have a movie. Because the only reason why he was there was he was seeing her for the holidays. He was going home to see his family for the holidays.
And if you took the holiday aspect out of the movie would not exist.
Yes.
The story would not exist. Now, granted, yes, the terrorists probably still would have attacked the building and taken over the building, but you wouldn't have had the hero, John McClane, there.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually something that Mom mentioned. I was like, wow, I never thought about that aspect of it. Because McClane would not be there for anything other than Christmas, because it was like he didn't even want to come in the first place. It would have taken something like a holiday to get him there.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an age-old debate that will never be answered.
Yeah.
So that's just our opinions on it.
But yeah, these are just our opinions. Is the Christmas element of a movie an important part of the story? That's the debate here. Gremlins is a Christmas movie because without Christmas you wouldn't have had that movie, because she literally buys him the gremlin as a Christmas present. Mm-hmm. That's pretty important. And Gremlins 2 is, I don't even remember.
It's just an awesome movie.
I don't even remember.
It's so good and bad at the same time.
I don't even remember Gremlins 2 that much, But it's a Christmas movie as well, just because it's Gremlins. Because the first one is so inherently a Christmas movie. The second one, I don't even know if it takes place at Christmas. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Die Hard 2. Die Hard 2, definitely a Christmas movie.
Like, it's been so long since I've seen any of the other Die Hards that I don't remember, so.
Takes place exactly 1 year later on Christmas Day in an airport, and it's the only reason why the terrorists took over the airport was because it was Christmas, and they knew it was going to be chaotic.
Yeah. Good
Like,
point.
they literally went on Christmas Day to be sure of that, because they knew how chaotic it was going to be. Plus, he blows up an airplane with a Zippo.
Yeah, that's the one part of it I remember. That's awesome.
That makes everything worth it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, watch what you want on Christmas.
My final point,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of what you were saying. It's a Christmas in this point that I'm going to make, any movie ever made in the history of cinematic anything ever cinema can be a Christmas movie. And here's the point: if it gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling of tradition, of something that you and your family, you and your friends, or you and your loved ones watch every Christmas, it's a Christmas movie. You could watch Dude, Where's My Car every Christmas, and that's your tradition, your holiday tradition. Therefore, in that aspect, that's a Christmas movie to you.
Yep.
It's all in the eyes of you. It's all in your heart, in your head. Whether it's a holiday movie, whether it's a really bad comedy, whether it's a gory gore fest, anything can be a Christmas movie if it makes you feel that joy and happiness that comes with spending time with family and friends and loved ones.
Very solid point. Very, very solid point.
And that's my thoughts on Christmas movies.
Yeah.
So be sure to check the link in the description down below. I'm going to post some links to some of our past Christmas movie reviews that we have done in years past. Holiday specials, Christmas movies. I'm just have to go through the list and look. And be sure to be on the lookout for some new stuff coming. Like and subscribe if you want to. This is that obligatory stuff where you have to beg for subscriptions and beg for likes and blah blah blah, which is so stupid, but it's YouTube now.
Yeah.
And if you have any ideas of debates that you know of that you want us to discuss, movie related, let us know in the comments, or just what's your thoughts on what makes a Christmas movie and what doesn't make a Christmas movie. Put it down in the comments, and maybe we can have a continuing discussion on this.
Yeah. And if you liked what you saw here, then let us know. Maybe we'll do something else along these lines. There wasn't really as much back and forth debate on this one. We seemed to kind of agree on most of this, but we have a lot of other things movie-wise that we could discuss in this way and probably not agree on. So let us know if you liked it. It could be something new and fun for us to try to do.
Yep.
You guys stay safe. Watch some movies today. We're going to go to the movies here in about 4 hours. So,
See ya.
bye.
Blessed be. Bright Yule.
Yeah.